Hi, this is Maginoni, and I got some comic reviews. We have Trinity, the one shot from DC, Venom 21, Savage 6 Part 4, SpiderMan 690, and X-Force 28. Now, I'll do X-Force first. Overall, I really enjoyed this issue. But I think I'm enjoying it for probably other reasons than what normally people would expect from it. Because I am having issues, I mean, not really issues, but it's like there's so much going on, and so many people have died in this storyline that it's just like craziness. And at the end of this issue, another member of X-Force commits suicide. And, whether or not that person's dead or not is, remain to be seen, going in the future, but I'm sure that person will be just retconned back alive again whenever they are needed. But basically what's going on is you have the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They've kidnapped the Kid Apocalypse, and if you remember last issue, the X-Factor's standing around, Gateway gets killed, and in this issue here, basically, Psylocke keeps Gateway alive just long enough so that way they can do a teleport to get away, but it's a blind port, so they end up 30 years in the future. And this future is a totally different future. You got basically what's happening is Apocalypse is becomes the bringer of all evil, and the X-Men, specifically like Wolverine and those guys, attack. Avengers come in, and it's basically they kill Apocalypse, save the world, and the world suddenly goes, oh my god, X-Men, you guys are neato, and we're sorry for persecuting you. And the next thing you know, the X-Men are in charge of things, and they're basically they've stopped crime, and the next thing you know, they're doing preemptive stoppage, where they look into the future. They go, you have this evil thought that you want to cause harm to somebody, so we're going to take you away, type thing. So it's just like this really weird society where you're free, but you're not free. And Deathlock is here, and he's like, X-Men, come with me. We have work to do. And it's like, it was an interesting take, but there's so many different futures going on. I don't know how you can even look at this and go, yeah, this is the future. But, with the amount of times the X-Men have changed the future, with characters living and dying and villains being beat, who knows? Maybe this really would have ended up being the next future, so to speak. Overall, though, Remender's doing a fantastic job with the storytelling. The art's pretty good. It's a very, very dark book, and I really fear whoever's going to take over this book after that. Personally, I think when Remender eventually leaves, they should just close it, because I don't think anybody else is going to be able to do as good of a job as he is. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything in this, but like I said, we do have another character death, and I guess an interesting take on some of these heroes in the future. But this storyline here doesn't last too long, because it's got to go back to the Brotherhood. But overall, solid read. Amazing Spider-Man 690. Slott is doing a fantastic job. If you're still angry about the marriage nullification, you're really missing out on some fantastic stories. And this has just been... While I may not agree that every one of Slott's storylines have been home runs, if you look at the overall body of work, it's going to go down in history as a fantastic run. And this has really been enjoyable. Basically what we have is you have Morbius. He's on the rampage. Spider-Man's no more death, so he goes after him. You have Madam Web going, you must go to Horizon Labs or else this disaster is going to happen. And Spider-Man's like, F that, I gotta stop Morbius. And while that's going on, you have Kurt Connors / Lizard turning his fellow lab workers into Lizardmen. And there's lots of... Well, this is basically what we're looking at here is a transition episode, or sorry, issue, because what's really the payday is gonna be the next issue. Now, I don't think this is gonna be really spoiling too much. You know, eventually, obviously, Spider-Man's gonna go back into Horizon Labs at the right moment before the lab gets sealed off. Now, there's a part of me that thinks, okay, this is gonna be great because we're gonna see Spider-Man, and we are gonna see a massive fight inside that lab, and it's going to be glorious. But there's another part of me that said, you know, wouldn't it have been more interesting if Spider-Man arrived 30 seconds late? He can't get in Horizon Labs. There's nobody inside there that has any powers, so to speak. And you have half the lab basically turn into lizards, and they're going to start feeding. And I think in terms of a characterization and character development and angst and sense of urgency, that could have been spectacular. You know, because you would have had Parker just freaking all hell out because he can't get into the labs and he knows something really bad is going inside there. And, you know, we don't even have to see what's going on inside the lab. I think that would ruin half the fun. All we have to do is just focus on Spider-Man trying to get in. And when eventually he gets in, then you see Carnage, and, you know, you can go take the story in multiple different directions from there. But I was thinking, you know, that would have been, for me, a more interesting approach, rather than, let's just be safe and do the same thing that we normally always do. But let's see what he has going after that, after this issue. Overall, though, solid read, very entertaining. The art's been really good, and I've really, truly been enjoying Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been one of the better, at least more consistent stories or books that have been coming out, and I'm very, very grateful that there's been some consistency in that. Okay, Venom number 21, Savage 6 Part 4. This is the finale to basically the supervillains declaring war on Flash. Now, this did take an interesting turn, because Betty's brother is basically the crime boss guy, and I was really surprised at the outcome. I thought they were going to play it safe to a certain degree, and they took some they took some risks, and they really did something that was unexpected. I think overall the battle sequences are pretty, you know, they're short, but they're right to the point. They're not dragging on longer than need be. There's very nice carnage going on, and surprisingly, this has been really, really good. And I've been, you know, I'm probably going to end up buying the trade for this because it's been really, really entertaining. I don't know if I'm going to keep getting Venom after Remender, because I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just not going to be the same thing any longer. Remender's really taken Venom into like a dark place, and I think in terms of a superhero like Venom, I don't even like to say the term superhero-like, a character like Venom, you really need to make it dark. You need to make him on the edge, and you need to have it so this way he could go off at a moment's notice and go crazy and kill people and just devour things. That's where we need it, and this is kind of like where Remender's at right now. So I really like that. You know, Flash is a superhero, but he's not really the goody two-shoes superhero that Parker is, and that's something that's really needed for the storyline. Overall, though, like I said, I think it really did end pretty nicely, and I was very pleased with it. Okay, and finally is Eternity. Now, this is basically Kid Eternity, and if you remember Kid Eternity, he was originally, I mean, he's like an older character that came from even before Vertigo. He came over, I think, with Quality Comics. Then Morrison took him into, like I said, Vertigo. And then later on, he came back, killed off in JLA #1, and then he eventually ended up in the Teen Titans for a while. And now we have the one-shot from National Comics. Now, basically what's going on is Christopher he died, but his father died also, like basically saving him, and he came back from the dead, and he works as a coroner. And what he can do is, if he touches the dead, he can pull the spirit out, and then he basically solved how that person got killed. Now, I thought this was like a very interesting one-shot, but beyond that, this would be a horrible book. Unless, I mean, they put some things in here which make it could be interesting. Like if he brings back the wrong people, bad things are going to happen. So it has that element of danger. But I think overall this really works better as a one-shot. What I was thinking is this actually would have been a perfect template for like a TV show, like on WB or something like that. Just because it has that, it has a little element of superhero, a little element of supernatural, and it also has the goody two-shoes feeling, you know, that the moms and so-and-so want to see in a TV show, where, you know, it's like the boy comes in, saves, you know, solves a difficult case, and brings justice to the, the murderers. So I think that is perfect, because there, you know, you don't necessarily need to have, you know, that one you can have the feel-good type stories all the time, and it'd still be decent. But in a comic, you know, we want more. We want supervillains. We want demons. We want creatures. We want action, and we wouldn't get that kind of, you know, this can't be like that, because he doesn't have real powers. You know, he can't shoot eye beams. He can't shoot fire. You know, none of that stuff. But I thought this was like an interesting one-shot. If they do turn this into a series, I'm not going to buy it. But I thought it was an interesting read. If you have a couple extra bucks, you know, you see it on sale digitally, you know, get it that way and just check it out. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think. Like the Facebook thing. I'm going to be putting some codes out there. Oh, I should probably give you a code now. Let's see, which one? I'll give you guys an X-Force code, and after I do, a little bit later on, I'll put on the SpiderMan code on Facebook. Also, I got a Tumblr thing going on too, which I post pictures and stuff. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. And I'm going to have a previews thing, and I'll have some other reviews. We have the comic book list tomorrow. So until next time.